So here we are in Northeast Portland. We're just wrapping up a kitchen remodel project we did here. I'm here with Adrian. This is a relatively common remodel in Portland with an older, early turn of the century home where one of the issues with the kitchen is it's relatively compact, and we need to pack as much as possible into a small space and transform a space that was originally designed over 100 years ago to really work functionally for us today. As I walk into the space, this is really cool aesthetically, and then really packs a big punch in terms of function too. So talk to me about some of your favorite features of this space.
So actually right behind you, so with this space being so compact, we can't really fit an island. So the client wanted a movable cart to act as an island, so you can roll it and put it in the center. And for more storage, we added a hanging pot rack. So now all these pots are not in your cabinet. So we have a drawer microwave here. It opens with press of a button.
And the really great thing about this microwave is it allows you to have a super functional microwave that works also as a convection oven, certain models, but it also gets us aesthetically away from over the range, which is a real aesthetic eyesore. It gets it out of an upper cabinet, which also puts it kind of in eyesore territory. And then most of these microwaves are too deep to properly fit in an upper cabinet. So if you put them there, they end up sticking way out. So you get it down in a base cabinet where essentially it's just taking the space of another drawer or set of drawers.
Another thing that is really nice here is a full height quartz backsplash. And it's just a continuous, nice look. And we have it wrapping around a nice HVAC ducting, so it looks intentional. You don't have that ducting there. And then continuing up, we have full height cabinet doors. So instead of breaking it up, we have like 41-inch doors to give you more storage instead of stopping at 36 inches and not using that storage above.
And aesthetically, I really love some of the neutral colors and stuff we have going on. You'll see the design trends right now I'm very happy with, are moving toward like wood elements. We've got walnut base cabinetry. We have an off-white upper cabinets, and then this really neutral countertop that's a good transition between the two. And then what really stands out in this kitchen, other than just a really comfortable, welcoming feel, is the floor that is set in this herringbone pattern, and the way that it works with this walnut works really, really well, where there's a few really dark tones in the floor, and then we've got these walnut-based cabinets, and everything else in this kitchen is really light. And so the kitchen being in the space really feels light, which is fantastic.
Right, without being sterile in a sense.
Yes. Another thing that we put in this kitchen is the GE Cafe appliance series. So we already talked about the microwave. The range here is an induction range. It's perfectly level with the countertop here. So the range surface doesn't actually heat up. It transfers the heat to your pot that sits on top. So it's super safe if you have kids, but it's also super efficient. It's the most efficient form of electric heating appliance for a range top. It also has a double oven here. And I want to point out, one of the things that we've seen more of is white appliances back in kitchens. And this really works well. I love the contrast between the walnut and then the white appliance itself. I also love the kind of bronze metals. You'll see throughout the kitchen, we did kind of a mixed metals approach. We have some pewter colors, we've got these bronze knobs, and then we have a black faucet. And so it just provides more interest. And this bronze really works well with the walnut. And with Cafe, one of the things I love about it is you can customize these colors a little bit as you go through your appliance selection process. Now, Cafe, I feel like, is a really good mid-priced appliance line. It is super high quality. It is a step up kind of from your average run-of-the-mill appliances you would buy at a Home Depot or something like that. But it is not, a major step up to a luxury appliance. It's right there in the sweet spot where there's customizability in terms of the aesthetic, and it really looks and works fantastic.
Another aspect of this kitchen that is really nice is an extra deep sink. And to accommodate that, we had to bump out the cabinet a little bit to also have that apron in front and give enough clearance for your faucet.
The cool thing about this particular Kohler apron front sink is that the way that the apron's built is it has a vertical side that comes out here, and then the apron comes out and has this lip here. And what's cool about it is it allows the sink to taper a little bit and create the aesthetic that we have on the front. And it allows a cabinet panel to tuck in behind it. Some apron front sinks, and many traditional ones, have a vertical side that comes all the way out to the front and then turns the corner, which aesthetically from the front, it doesn't look quite as good. It looks like a basin that's set into it. And then you've got this transition where you basically have to scribe the cabinet side directly to the sink. And sometimes that just doesn't work as smooth. It's certainly not as easy to install as this Kohler one. So I love the aesthetic of this. The install is really easy. And this is a very large, deep, big one. A must for almost every kitchen we do these days is a trash can pull out. This one in particular, we wanted the bigger cans. And so we opted to, even though this is a wide cabinet, take up as much space as we can with 2 cans, one for recycling, one for garbage. And then it's a soft close feature. And you can see this one is set on basically a large drawer with 2 drawer guides at the bottom. And so that allows you to take a fair amount of weight right here in here, so you can have a lot in the garbage can and it's not going to sag over time. So talk to me, Adrian, about the floor, because you walk into the space and it looks like wood and it's set on this herringbone pattern. Talk to me about the thought process that went into that.
Yeah, so we kind of put it in a herringbone or chevron pattern because if you see over here, we have 2 different patterns over here in the different spaces. And so instead of making one, this entire floor go one direction and then you have this awkward transition, we decided to do something completely different and kind of stay in that herringbone style. And like you said, Joseph, it's not actual wood, it's LVP. So it's kind of that faux wood look, but you still get that warmth of wood.
Yeah, and I love it here. It allows us to have a lot of interest and something that's really cool in a really small kitchen without making the space feel real busy. So one of the things I love about this remodel that we did here is the stair nose for the LVP. Now, first off, normally I'm not a massive fan of LVP, which stands for luxury vinyl plank. But one place where it does make a lot of sense is in a basement, where there may be residual moisture issues unless we do a massive moisture mitigation system. And there's not a lot of direct sunlight that heats the vinyl up, because when you've got really big windows and really big spans of flooring, that can cause issues with a vinyl flooring. One of the other major issues that have caused me to not like vinyl flooring is the stair nose profiles. Normally, you get your flush flooring, and then on top of the flooring, you get a stair nose that most of the time attaches with some type of adhesive, which most of the time doesn't last all that long, with all of the people kicking their toes against it as they come down the stairs, and so comes off, and you almost have this perpetual problem you've set up. Well, not here. This is a dowel tile product that has a really fantastic stair nose. And if you look at it right here, what it looks like is it looks like a thick slab of, in this case, white oak, which is fantastic. Aesthetically, standing back from here, you would never guess this is a vinyl. And this wraps down a full 2 inches. And then it sets about, about 3.5 inches back onto the stair tread. And then you interlock another piece of vinyl flooring back, and it's all tied together. So there's no lip for you to kick off, for it to come disattached. And aesthetically, it looks awesome. So this stair nose is the way to go if you use a vinyl flooring. Now, we also did the bathroom in this home. So let's go upstairs and take a look at the bathroom. So we took the same theme with this bathroom upstairs that we did with the kitchen, where we've got a fairly compact space, but we want to pack a lot of both luxury and functionality into the space. So we start with this just beautiful tile floor that is heated. So here with my socks on, it feels amazing. Talk about this tile floor and what we wanted to accomplish with it.
Yeah, so with this style, we wanted to kind of mimic that same herringbone downstairs, but we went with a chevron instead. And to save a little bit of cost, we went with a larger format tile. These are 24 by 48, so a little larger than normal. And in a small bathroom, you only need so many tiles with that large of a tile. So.
And that also allows you to limit the amount of grout, because we all know that grout collects little bits of dust and dirt, and this gives you that look without the cleaning problems.
Right.
And while we're on the subject of flooring, we almost always recommend doing a tile baseboard in a bathroom with a tile floor. And the reason that's so important is there's a lot of moisture in here. All of us have been in spaces where someone came in, normally it's a production builder house or a new custom house where less intentionality was put into these fine details, and somebody ran MDF baseboard in the bathroom. It almost always fails at some point because there's enough moisture in here, it just swells. And so with this, you're never going to have that problem because we just wrapped the tile right up the wall and then capped it with this really attractive Schluter edge. One of the things that we really believe in is everybody from the very beginning to the end of the project cares a lot about the craft and the design of the space. And so our tile installer here really took a lot of care to make sure we lined up the imaginary grout lines here on the baseboard with the grout lines here on the tile. And that way, aesthetically, it just gives you a beautiful wrap up. The other thing you'll notice about this baseboard is it's held down just a hair so we don't have these weird, awkward gaps where you have a door stop or you have the plumbing connection to the toilet. Oftentimes, if you have a wood baseboard or something that's not done with that intentionality, you have these weird spots in there where if we would have just set it a ½ inch lower or a ½ inch higher, you'd avoid that. So a couple other special features of this bathroom is, one is we have a bidet toilet here. This is a Kohler model, and I think this is a really good example of how somebody can get a nice bidet toilet, but not end up spending, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a bidet toilet. And this one has all the standard features in terms of adjustment of where it sprays and drying. So this allows somebody to spend just several $100s more than a regular toilet, but get all those nice features. Let's talk about the shower. So one of the first things you'll notice with this shower is this very deep niche. And this is a relatively compact shower and mostly in this dimension here. And so we definitely don't want anything sticking out into the shower. And we've got attic space on the other side. And so we can make a deeper shower niche that allows you to store more product and stuff in there without causing any problems, and then aesthetically just fitting right between these two tiles and below the detail rail, so aesthetically it looks great. The other thing you'll notice is right here on the edges, we ended up mitering the edges and leaving a grout line between the two. So what that means is we make the niche blend more into the tile as opposed to doing some type of metal edging, and the edge is not sharp. And so it really works and fits well. Another thing that's really important in the shower situation is we wanted to do a fixed glass panel here so that we don't have any moving parts and it's simpler. But if you located the valve there underneath the shower head, then you would have to reach in, turn on the shower head, and get cold water on your head as it warmed up in order just to turn the shower on. So the valve is located here on this half wall so that you can reach on, turn on the shower, adjust it for heat, wait for it to heat up. That allows you to step into warm water as opposed to cold water. And finally, I'll point out we did a prefabricated shower pan here. That allows us to save some cost. It allows us to use a little bit more creative tile out here on the main floor surface where this tile would be more difficult to use in a shower pan. There would be a way to do it, but it also keeps costs down. Using a prefabricated shower pan like this allows us to provide a really high quality luxury space without it costing an arm and a leg, and it really doesn't detract aesthetically from the whole space, partly because of how compact this bathroom is. Another thing I love about this bathroom is we did this lighted medicine cabinet, and this one also has a plug on the inside of it. So you can have your various accessories plugged in, they can be charging, and they don't have to be out here on the countertop taking up space. You can shut that. They're all put away, but they're still charging the way they should be.